Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. And in this stream we are going to be continuing with the project onboarding. So I know we're doing a little bit of switching between different things at the moment, but today I decided we would do onboarding again just because it's really close to being done. And maybe we can finish it today. We'll see. I always say that and it never happens, so we'll see kind of what happens with that. But it is mostly done, so I think we can basically go ahead and get started. Let me do that. There we go. Now see me, and you can see all of this as well. So yeah, as I kind of said, everything is pretty much done. Let's go ahead and run it and I will show you where we're at. And you should be able to see everything should work. I believe there are a couple issues which we're going to have a look at and see if we can fix, but we'll have a look at those in a second. So here we are. So first of all, let's put in the project name. So I'm going to call this Bits and Bobs. That's just what I've been going with recently, and primarily that is because I want the artifact name and the mod ID and that kind of stuff to have the correct dashes and whatever. So then I'll put in the group ID. So I'll put dev.30worty. I would like to have some kind of maybe description for each of the fields that explains what they are, because some people might not know what a group ID is, and I think that's a fairly reasonable thing to assume. So maybe I'll do something like that, but I guess that's not too important. It's maybe a later on thing anyways. How's your day been? My day has been pretty good. I haven't really done much today. Apart from getting all of this to work, basically. So everything does now work, which you will see. So we also can't select a version that's not like a major version. So like 1.21 we can do, but we can't do like 1.21.1. That will need to be fixed today. That's going to be a pain in the butt to fix, but we'll try that later. For now, we can just select 1.21. Oh, this didn't happen earlier. Interesting. Why has this happened? This is new. I've been testing this tons and tons of times, and this is the first time I've seen this happen. I actually don't know. Because the default value is just yarn. So how, in goodness gracious, is it null object? What would even... Do I even have something in the code that says null object? In files? Null object like that, like find in files null object. Interesting. Object is equal null. Huh. Can you guess what I was doing whilst waiting for the stream? I cannot guess. No, I'm terrible at guessing. What were you doing? Do I want to know? It's a risky question to ask. Why is this happening? The only way that's possible is if this was null. But that's impossible. This can't be null. Depends. Do you like PowerShell? I don't hate PowerShell. I prefer command prompt, but I don't hate PowerShell. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's done that. And also going back has gone ahead and reset that for some reason. I don't know why. So that's the default value. Does it have the right key? Minecraft project keys? Yes. How weird. I don't know. I'll figure that one out later. It's not too important because the values are actually in there, which is kind of the more important thing. So fabric loader, yep, that one's fine. Fabric API, fine. Got mod ID, mod name, class name. We have the license. Now there is a small issue with the license where if I select custom license, it doesn't bring it up. But we can deal with that later. Initialize git repo, yes, that's fine. Use access widener, fine. Split sources, fine. We'll put in an author and a description just for the sake of it. Is it just me, but it seems like the camera stream is stuttering? It probably is, because Railroad absolutely destroys my CPU. Like, when I say destroys my CPU, I mean destroys it. Like, look at this. 65% right now. RAM is expected, albeit probably a little high because of the same issue that's causing the CPU, but it's bad. It like drains my CPU. It actually shouldn't be lagging that much though. It's I think it's fine now actually. I don't know what I did, but that seems to have fixed it. Maybe it's just when I have it focused actually. If I do that and then I do this. It's when I have Railroad focused. I don't know why that's the case. But as you can see, it now does the stuff. Just update bit.gradle, and then it will run gen sources. Most of which, I mean, this one should be pretty quick because it's already done it for me. We'll just have to give it a second though. What's going on with the 83% there, like overlapping? I have no idea. I genuinely don't know because I didn't create this. Codex created this UI for me because I'm terrible with UI. So I just tried to do it for me. To be fair, it's kind of just what I had before. It's kind of just moved it around in different places. I mean, it looks better. It's just like the backgrounds are weird, and I think it shouldn't have the hover effect or you know, whatever the shadow is. That should be gone. Background should be gone, and then obviously this needs fixing. These things need translating, but that's all doable. I don't know why this is taking so long though. It's probably the same reason the stream's stuttering and, you know, whatever else. It's probably just like destroying my PC, right? I think that's why this is taking a long time. It shouldn't take this long. I mean, since Codex created this UI, I'm probably going to get it to fix it as well. So yeah, there you go. And it should, in theory... Oh, it has. It's just opened it in on my other monitor. Yeah, so that works. I tried to fix the CPU utilization issue first. It's not that big of a deal. Like it is a big deal, don't get me wrong, but it's like I know how to fix it. I know what the exact issue is. It's just a matter of implementing it. It's like probably an hour's work to implement it, so it's not, for that reason, it's not a priority. But kind of as I said on Discord, for those who are not in the Discord, Discord is linked in the description. Join up. It is one of the things I am going to fix. So what I said is I need to... yeah, I actually slightly messed up the order, but first thing we need to do, basically, is iron out a couple of the bugs. So, for example, you see the progress bar wasn't going up as it was as you were going through the steps. That needs fixing, but that should be trivial. There's a couple little bugs, like with the mapping channel, but I'm not too worried about the mapping channel one, just because, like, it works. It's just a little bit janky. It's probably fixable. I genuinely don't know why it did that, though. It must be some kind of registration issue. Like, maybe this wasn't registered or something, but that doesn't really make sense. Or maybe it's not being class loaded. Is that even possible? No, that's not possible, because it's being class loaded here. But I don't know what that was. And then the next thing is probably to fix that UI, the creation UI. And then the next thing to do after that is to duplicate this entire thing and do it for Forge and NeoForge, which should be pretty easy. For the most part, it's just going to be copy paste. Like mapping channel, Minecraft version, Maven coordinates, project details, those are all going to be exactly the same. Fabric loader, Fabric API, obviously Forge and NeoForge won't have those, but mod details, so mod ID, mod name, main class, those main class actually. No, I think main class will exist as well, so I think all of these will be in there. License, that's going to be there. Get, that's going to be there. Access widener, that will just be access transformer. Split sources won't be there, of course. Optional details, so that's author, description. These will just be slightly modified, so it'll be like I don't remember what Forge and NeoForge call these, but they have different names for issues, homepage, and sources. And then there will also need to be a couple other things. So I think you got display test. You have... There's some other ones. I don't remember exactly what they are, but they're all pretty trivial to do. So I'm not too worried about those. And then after we've done that, we will need to go ahead and actually integrate this entire thing into Railroad. Because currently, I've set it so that just when I run Railroad, give it a second, it just instantly brings this up. Which obviously isn't what we want. We don't want it to do that. We want it to bring up the actual core, homepage welcome screen. So we'll need to integrate that. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out. And then after we've done that, we need to fix the logger issue. That's when I'm going to fix the CPU usage after we've done that. And then I need to finish rewriting the main class, which I have on a different branch, main class rewrite. That's got a bunch of rewrites, and I'm going to have to go ahead and fix all of those. That's going to be a lot of work. Just like fixing the complex with this one is going to be a lot of work. And then after that, I want to rewrite all of the CSS. So currently, if you're unfamiliar, The CSS files look like this. 2,375 lines. This one is 89 lines. This one is 161 lines. Default dark, these are fine because those are just default themes. Project creation view, theme settings. I mean, as you can see, some of this has already been separated, but like, I actually don't even know if this is needed anymore. It might be. I think that is needed actually. But the point is, they need separating. It's too big. It's really hard to deal with. Like, really, really hard to deal with. So, it just needs separating out. Like, the kind of thing would be like moving all of this RR list view stuff. Okay, so all of this would just move into its own file. That's literally kind of all I want to do. All of the RR text field will be its own file. All of the RR buttons will be their own file. You know, we'll come down to the bottom and we'll have this plugin stuff will be its own file. That kind of thing is what I want to do. It will just make this so much easier to deal with if it's all separated. Because right now this is really horrible to deal with. I reckon we have a lot of duplicate styles in here, and we also probably have a lot of styles that are breaking other styles. So it's just a matter of fixing all of that. It will take a while. It'll take probably a couple hours, maybe. Is the CSS open source? I mean, the entire IDE is open source. So yes, it is open source. And then after we've done the CSS, that's it. That's kind of everything I wanted to do before the next public test. And the next public test, thank you, JetBrains. I already knew that. After the next public test, I'm gonna create a video about Railroad and kind of get it going. This is really the last major hurdle, everything I just mentioned. So that's why I'm doing this today instead of the parser, and we might also do this tomorrow instead of the parser, depending on how far it comes along. Just try and get it done, if anything. So anyways, let's get started. So the first thing is try and fix this progress bar. I think this should be trivial. I just need to find where it is. I don't know where it is. And we could probably cheat and just vibe code this whole thing that we want to do today. Because none of it is very complex. It's just, we just need to find where it is though. I think it's probably in here actually. If we go to implementations, one override, here we go. And we go progress bar dot set progress displayed index. Okay. That should be fine. Right? And then progress label dot set text. What is this, by the way? What is this? I don't know. Let me have a look. I don't think there was a label. I don't think there's a label anywhere. Progress label. Where are you? You. Progress container. So it's a H box. So it must be here at the end. If that's the case, I don't know why that's being localized though. Right? Like, that should just be displayed index over total steps, right? And that should be it. I don't know why it would be anything different. Let's rerun it and see if that shows anything. I have a feeling possibly on-step changed isn't being called. I don't know why that would be the case, but that's what I'm thinking. Either that or step is null. I don't know why that would be the case, though. Interesting. So that didn't show anything. Okay. Interesting. Progress label. What are you? Are you a localized label? No. Where is this called? Perform step transition. Alright. Oh, because total steps is -1. That's why. And that's step history dot size -1. It's basically saying it's always at the end. Oh wait. Oh no, that's correct, because that's basically saying how many steps you've done. Total steps should be that's kind of tricky actually, because we don't have the total number of steps. And the reason we don't have that is because we don't know the total number of steps, because the total number of steps depends on how many steps there are, or like how, or like what steps you do, right? What did you say? You want separated in the CSS? I want everything separated in the CSS. So, although wait, let me just check. I need to check my GitHub changes and check that you can do that without breaking anything. Yes, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, basically I just want, if we look in here, components. Basically, for example, I want all of this onboarding stuff, right? So basically this, everything up until this header, I want that in its own file, is what I want. Now that's complicated because, and this is kind of the reason I put it at the end of the list of things I want to do, because it requires adding that CSS file dynamically. Like, that CSS file has to be present only when the onboarding process is visible. Otherwise, it would just break shit. So the reason I left that to the end is because, one, I need to finish the onboarding, and two, we're going to do the main class rewrite. And the main class rewrite will it changes how the CSS works. So yeah, that's why. That's why I left it to the end, because it'll be really hard to do right now. But until then, I need a way to somehow get the number of steps. I genuinely don't know how to do that. Current step is equal step at. What does step at do? Step cache.compute if absent flow.lookup. So can I get it from the flow, maybe? Possibly. I mean, if I did a list of transitions, right? I mean, that it would kind of work, but it kind of wouldn't work. A better way to do it is probably using the step lookup and just getting the size of the step lookup. But I think if I do this dot flow, or I think just flow, flow dot, can I get the step lookup? No. That's fine. I just need to actually go into the flow and then get public int get total step. And then what that allows me to do is just flow.get total steps. Boom. Just see where this is used. That's fine. Okay, now the only other thing is when... Oh, no, that's fine, I think. Yeah, here we go. So if we now go into here, you can now see it's 1 of 13 and we have progress. So if I now put bits and bobs, next, now it's 2 of 13, we go dev.30 worthy, 3 of 13, etc, etc. So that's kind of what I wanted. So that's that solved. What were the other issues? Does anyone remember the other issues? The other issues were primarily to do with the creation UI, yeah, I think. So I think we're going to AI this one. AI created it, so AI can fix it as far as I'm concerned. If not, then I guess we're just going to do it ourselves, but hopefully that's not the case. We'll see. Admittedly, what I will do is I'm going to commit, because AI likes to just do whatever it wants. So if GitHub Desktop would like to open, then I would like to commit my current changes. Maybe. Okay, that took a really long time. So what have I done? I've done quite a few things. So there was a couple of issues with internet connection. I've now gone ahead and just made sure it just retries every time it... Yeah, it's not great code, admittedly. I kind of just look for the software contain or cause connection abort, because that's the error I was getting. It's not ideal, to be honest, but it works. So, and I also did that with Gradle as well. And then I had to fix this because something entry points were not working properly. This actually probably isn't correct, but oh well, it's fine. Onboard flow, yep, we just did that. I think that's fine. Where is this? That's Fabric API. Yep, that's fine. We just did that. That's fine. We just did that, and that's fine. And then I've got the entire lang in here as well, which we're also going to have to do in a minute. We have a couple more things to add to here. So what have I done? How would I summarize that? Because I've realized that Copilot, it just isn't good at summarizing commits. Well, let's try. Let's see what it says. Improve project creation robustness and UI feedback as retry. Sure, that's fine. It will do. It'll do. Before we cheat and get AI to do some work for us, I'm gonna try and have a look and see if I can figure it out. Because if I can, that would be great. So let's go creation UI, project creation pane. I think it's that one, because this is like, well, it's kind of both of them actually. Yeah, it's both of them. Yeah, I think it's basically this % label, I believe. I think if I do that, % label, do that, give it that. Get rid of that. Because I think basically the spinner does that for us. So I think that's probably why. And presumably Codex just didn't know that. The only problem is, the only way to test this is to run the entire freaking thing and create an entire project, which is really annoying. I don't particularly want to have to do that. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to. So let's do that real quick. Okay. And yes, we do need to fix the CPU issue, because even if nothing else, it's dramatically affecting the stream. Because it just lags my entire PC. Like I need to go in and delete the current project folder, and it just Windows just can't load my user folder. And now that it's loaded it, I cannot scroll. Okay, I found it. Delete. Okay, I got it. Oh, okay, Windows Explorer is crashing. That's never good. Okay, so let's just go bit and bobs. Next. Dev.30worthy. I've been thinking about the group ID, and I kind of want it so it automatically knows it's dev.30worthy. I've just been trying to think, like, how the fuck am I gonna do that? Because realistically, every single project I create is going to be dev.30worthy, right? So, like, should I have something in the settings, maybe, that allows you to provide a default value? Or do I set up some kind of autocomplete so it remembers your previous inputs and then just shows you those as options? Or I don't know. I feel like I want to find some way to improve that. Because I do have to do it every single time otherwise. And I feel like everyone has to, right? You make a setting of group ID default override to that, and it defaults to whatever that is. Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, I could do that for a lot of things as well. Maybe not the artifact ID, but like version. Like you could have a default version. Maybe your versioning scheme doesn't use 7var for whatever reason. Or maybe you want to start at 0.0.0. I guess that would kind of make sense. Or something like that. So having like a default version, maybe. The other thing I've kind of been thinking about is generating a project name. So like, it will just generate a random name, right? Something like that as the default value, rather than, you know, not having a value, is possibly worth considering as well. Also, that didn't save. Why didn't that say? It does seem to do that sometimes, but not all the time. Like, I feel like if I go back and forwards now, huh? Interesting. That didn't save. Okay. We'll need to fix that then, because that's not ideal. Yeah, I still have to select 1.21, so we'll need to fix that later as well. And we need to fix this. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open Notepad, and I'm just going to write a list of things, because otherwise I'm going to completely forget them all. So the first one was... Okay, I'm going to write the list of things I kind of want to do, I suppose. So let's have... I guess you guys can't see. Let me show you guys. Let's have a way to put in the settings default overrides for project creation. Project creation. Yeah, I don't want it to be for everything, right? So maybe the version, the group ID, the author. Description doesn't really make sense. Like, you wouldn't really have a default description. That just doesn't make sense. You wouldn't have a default sources or a default issues or a default anything like that. So I think those are fine. I think probably just those three. Author actually does need to, by default, it needs to by default to the system's username. So that's, or the user's username, I guess. Auto generate random project name. Set author to user's name unless settings overrides it. And then we could also have... Oh, another thing I need to do at some point is the icon. I actually haven't added anything for the icon, but like, you might want to provide an icon in the setup process, right? I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to want to do. So we need to fix that as well. Fix pressing back, not saving the Maven. The Maven properties. And then we need to fix the mapping channel. So fix default mapping channel being null object and not yarn. And then I need to also fix mapping channel names to be properly capitalized, because currently if you look in here they're all lowercase, which is like not that big of a deal, but it would just be nice if they were actually properly done. You could make an account system in the Railroad web. I think that's unnecessary, to be honest. I think that's complete overkill. You know, just having it saved in your settings, I think is fine. Like, it doesn't need to be saved online. That will require you to have an internet connection just to put in default values. Like, that's stupid. That's really dumb. There's no need for that. Just having it in the settings is fine. We need to fix this, so we need to fix Minecraft versions having to be 1.21 or 1.20. and not 1.21.1 or 1.20.4. Yeah, sure. I think that's all of the ones for now, but we'll probably come across more. Would also need a backend for that. That's true, yeah. I mean, at some point we are going to have some kind of backend for things. For other things, probably. But yeah, I think it's completely unnecessary to do something like that. Mapping channel. This one is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Fabric loader, that's fine. Fabric API, that's fine. Mod ID, mod name, main class. I think those are fine. Yeah, there isn't really anything we could do there for those. License. Yes, I need to fix the license. So this is going to be another one. Fix selecting. Okay, there's two things we need to do with licenses. So we need to fix ordering of licenses in the combo box. And we also need to fix setting custom license, not enabling the license field, the custom license field. Because what it should do is when you select custom license, it should bring up a field here where you can input the custom license, but it doesn't do that. And also, as you can see, the order of these, I think it's just A to Z. No, it's not even A to Z. I don't even know what the order of these are. So that's obviously not ideal. That's also not the one I was going for. See, I can't even... there it is. So that needs fixing. This is fine. I would like the Git stuff to like be able to publish a Git repo for you. I don't know if that's actually possible though. I assume it is, right? I would like to do that, but it's not important. So make it so automatically publishing a Git repo is possible. Although that would kind of be done through plugin. Probably done through the respective plugin though. Okay. Not a priority. Just so I know. That's not that important, realistically. Next is access widener. So with access wideners, I want it so you can optionally input an access widener path. Though I don't technically know if it's supported, but it lets you set the path, so I assume it probably is supported. But that's fine. And then split sources, I want that to be on by default. So, I mean, that's a tiny thing, but enabled by default. Okay. And then author, I've already put that in, haven't I? So my lovely description. And then I'm also going to put in a way to upload a logo for the mod. Logo assets for the mod during project creation. I say assets like that because at least with Fabric you can have other things that aren't just a logo. So you can also have like a backdrop, like a heading backdrop. And I think there's some other ones as well that you can do by default. Once again, that's not important, of course. And yeah, that's fixed the progress thing as well. And hopefully this will just create it. Was there anything else we were testing with this, or was it just... I think it was just that, wasn't it? So we do need to obviously create the lang for these. We need to fix this UI as well. I assume somewhere there's just like backgrounds being set though. So let's have a look, I guess. We go components. And if we look at like onboarding content container, it's probably something like this where it has this background. I think that's probably what is causing it, right? Yeah, I would say probably. It's probably that. I mean, let's have a look. Where is onboarding content container? If we look in here. This one? Nope, this one? Okay, this also has the RR card. Oh, that's probably why. Because it has RR card. And this one has like RR title. And I think that's probably setting it to have these backgrounds. And that's why it has, I think, this hover thing as well. Because that's in the card class. If we look in here and search for RR-card, yeah, you can see there's other ones, I believe. Yeah, see, once again, this is a thing where like they're just all over the place. But like here you go. The FX effect, it has that drop shadow. So that's what it's caused by. Hello Spino, welcome to the stream. Okay. So yeah, there's that. I think... What's the best way to fix this? RR card. I think I can just remove that. And that fixes it. See, once again, it's just fucking... It's hard to test. Because I have to go through that whole friggin' thing again. Just to find out if it's gonna work. Like this has RR title. It says RR subtitle. Let's just remove all of these and see what happens. Like this shouldn't be called RR log area. That's so stupid. Stupid name. Yeah, this isn't used. I don't think this is necessary though. So I'm actually just going to remove that completely. That's... Oh no, that has to be there. Because there's two different durations. There's one from JavaFX and there's one from java.time. I forgot about that one. This is our chip. Yeah, like once again... It's kind of silly. Okay, let's try that and just see if that does anything. Like that might genuinely fix all of the weirdness, but it's hard to say. So we're gonna have to go through the entire project phrase as a girl. Maybe we should try and fix the bugs first. So then at least this is a little bit easier. Yeah, I think let's do that. If we try and fix all of those issues, so all of these. Can I put this somewhere? Where can I put this? I can't really put it anywhere, can Can I put it there? I guess I could put it there over the console because we don't need the console. So if I do that, and then I have to move it this way a little bit so that you guys can see it. There you go. Okay, that's fine. So that's just gonna sit there now, and we'll go and try and fix some of them. So let's try and fix the bugs first, because those are debatably the more important ones. And then afterwards we can do the more like quality of life things rather than everything else. So for example, pressing back, not saving. Oh yeah. First yawn of the stream, chat. I should have a yawn counter. I really should. I yawn so much that I really should have a yawn counter. Maybe I'll do that. Not right now, of course. I actually want to see, does it save anything else when you press back? Because if it doesn't, then that's that's kind of an issue. I think it does though. Like if I do bits and bobs and then go next and then press back, that does save that. If I do dev.30worthy and then go next and then go back, okay, that saves it. So it's only when I go back and then like that. Aha. I see. So I actually do know why that's happening. I know exactly why that's happening. Because in here, I think maybe I don't know why that's happening. So I thought what happened is that I had a thing in here that reset it. Apparently I don't. I mean, I can just do this, right? If context... but that won't work because... Yeah, that won't work because I don't have a property for it. I mean, I guess I could create a property for it. So I just need a string property, which is the group ID. And then I'll need that anyways, actually, to be able to do the settings stuff. So it's not like a waste of a property or anything. And then I can just have text will be group ID get, like that. I don't need to bind it though. I just need to do that. So then what that will do is just group ID dot set. Yeah. I think that's fine because it doesn't have any listeners. Like usually you don't want to set properties because it can fire all the listeners. So like if I was setting it to the exact same value, it would still fire all the listeners. But this property doesn't have any listeners. So it doesn't really matter, like at all. So that's fine. So that should fix that. Let's try that. See if it fixes it. It should do. I'll be very upset if it doesn't. So we're gonna go bits and bobs. We love our bits and bobs. Press next. Let's do dev.30worthy. Let's go next, just to see that that still works there, which it does. Okay, then let's go back, and then let's go forward. That didn't work. Weird. Huh. I thought that would work. Context dot contains group ID. Then we get the group ID. If it's not null or blank, then it sets the group ID. I mean, that should work, right? Why wouldn't that work? Group ID dot get. Maybe that's not running? Can I? Oh, it's because text isn't called. Because text is only called when the component is created, right? So what I actually need here in order to fix this is I need an object property of a text field, basically the same as what I have with the artifact ID. And then I just need to bind this to the group ID. And then basically I need to say and group ID field dot get is not equal to null. So basically saying that the text field has already been created, so it's present, and then I can just set it, which should fix it. Now I don't honestly know why it's being cleared in the first place. I genuinely don't know. I guess that's a more important question, really. Like, why is it being cleared in the first place? My guess is that maybe it's recreating the... Because maybe when I'm exiting the project details step, no, that doesn't make any sense. And it can't be recreating it because the supplier didn't run. So I thought maybe it's not caching it, in which case it wouldn't be able to go back to it because it doesn't exist. But that's not the issue, because the supplier would have ran and then it would have worked. I don't know. Something weird going on. Oh, I didn't want to run debug mode. I'll just run normally. And just see if that's fixed it. Is the more important thing. I expect this entire system will go through a little bit of polishing in the future. It's not going to stay exactly what it is. So let's do bits and bobs. Next. Okay, let's go dev.dirtyworthy. Next. Okay. Where's these access denied? Fair to instantiate plugin Discord integration and WackerTime plugin. Oh, it's an issue with the WackerTime plugin. Okay. I'll have to get Alex to fix that. Oh, actually, no, that's probably fine. It's probably just because I have an old version. I don't have the most up-to-date version of it, so that's probably why. I also don't have the most up-to-date version of the Discord plugin, so that's probably why they're both dying. Okay. The other thing, at some point I need to fix. Now, you guys actually can't see this because it's on my other monitor. But the taskbar icon for Railroad isn't the Railroad icon. Sometimes I load it up and it is the Railroad icon, but other times it's not. In fact, I can show you a screenshot, I guess. Is the best I can do. Is that gonna... That should work, right? Yeah, here you go. You can see this is what it currently looks like. I don't know why that's the case, because sometimes it works and just sometimes it doesn't, I guess. But anyways, let's go back to this, and then let's go back, and then let's go forward, and hopefully, what the fuck? What? How is that possible? Surely the only way that's possible is if this doesn't contain it? Which would be crazy. Okay, let's try. Let's try debug mode. And we'll have a look. I don't know why that would be the case. Okay, so let's try again. Bits and bobs. Next. Okay, so by default it shouldn't contain it. Let me move this like up here or something, just temporarily. So we can see context here, and we have the data, so it has the project path, and then it has the project name. If we go ahead and just yeah, whatever, that doesn't matter because that's not an issue right now. Let's do dev.30worthy. Let's go forward, then let's go back, and it should contain it. So context.contains, then it should get it, so that will be dev.30worthy. So then we just go ahead and set the text. Correct. Okay, so then let's try again. So let's go back, and then let's go forward. So if we look at context.data, and if we look in here, we have maven.groupid. Okay. So then we have the context group ID, which is dev.30worthy. Is the group ID field present? It's bound, but it's invalid. How? How is it invalid? That's weird. Okay, well, in that case, we can fix this, and that is just to basically do the exact same thing that the artifact ID is doing. So just creating a string property, and then basically binding the string property to the field, and that will work. So if I do bind there, and then basically all I have to do is set the text in here to be group ID get, and then all I have to do in here, instead of all these shenanigans, is just set the group ID like that, and that should work. Hello Wide, welcome to the stream. Yes, there is another stream this week. There is also one tomorrow. So yes, you are very blessed with all of the many streams. Okay, so let's go bits and bobs. Let's go next. Okay, let's go dev.30worthy. Next. Then let's go back. Then let's go back. Then let's go forward. Finally. Okay. We can finally check that off the list of being done. Okay, next we have to fix the default mapping channel being null object. I am so lost in terms of why this is happening, so best way to figure it out is to debug it. So let's just plonk a breakpoint in there. Yes, this is the onboarding wide. Indeed it is. Let me move this somewhere again. So down here. Okay, so mapping channel. Let's try and figure this out. So let's set this to 1.21. Let's go next, and we should hit that breakpoint. Of course, it fucking just works now. I changed nothing. I just literally changed nothing, and now it works. Which kind of confirms my suspicions, admittedly. Because to me, that means it's an issue with maybe this not being loaded. I mean, let's try. Let's just try. Oh wait, no, this is normal. This is normal. I was gonna say it's because we're in debug. Why are we not in debug mode actually? Either way, that's very confusing. Well, what I can do to confirm, basically ensure that it works, is just to do public static void initialize, and then basically go into the main class and just call that, which just means that it will be class loaded and that we don't have to worry about it. So we can do although I shouldn't need to do that because it's a registry, and so it should. Oh no, wait, it doesn't have. Do I need to have at registrar or something? There's a thing I have for registries, I think. Do I? I think so. Register. Mapping channel dot registry. Ah, I thought I had a thing for it. Apparently I don't, I guess. Okay. Well, either way, this should fix it. That shouldn't occur again. We'll try run it a few more times and we'll just have a look. But it should be fine. If it wants to run. Just give it a second. Okay, let's do bits and bobs. Next. dev.hurtywurty. Next. Let's do 1.21. Next. It just works now. Okay. Sure. It just works, I guess. Great. I take that as a win. Next is to fix the mapping channel names. Now, if I go mapping channel registry, they do have here. So you got register ID. Now, this should be railroad colon. Wait, how does the ID work? See, we don't actually have a convention for IDs for things. You can see here, for example, I've done railroad colon switchboard / parchment. But here I've just done yarn. We should probably come up with a convention at some point. Maybe doing what Minecraft does and having like some identifier class. Just because it means that we can't like accidentally not follow the convention. I think that's why Minecraft has that as well. It means you can't mess up the convention. Okay, so if that's yarn, how does this work? Like is the railroad.mapping channel dot? Okay. So if we go into the lang, in theory we will find railroad.mapping railroad.map. What? But it should be set. Unless channel, what's channel? Dot builder, it has the version lister. And that's it. That's the only thing it has though. It doesn't like have a translation key. So how in the flippity fuck has it managed to... Oh, I know why. I know why. It's not an issue with this. This isn't the issue. I mean, it should be in the lang. So, like, I should have railroad.mapping underscore channel dot mcp is equal mcp, and then yarn, and then official, and then parchment, official moj maps, like that. So like those should be there, but the issue is because it's using the ID rather than the translation key. So if I look in the onboarding class, onboarding implementation, fabric project onboarding, we can see that the key function is mapping channel : ID. So what I need to do, there is a way. Yeah, I don't have an easy way, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't a way to just like... Yeah, because the key function is basically like the key of in the combo box, so how it figures out what is what, which is fine. That's not really the issue. But the combo box, I think, also uses that key function to determine how to display it by default. So what I could go ahead and do is I could actually come into the combo box builder, and I could just have a thing in here. So I could have like a private, I don't know, to string function of t, display name function, which by default will just be equal to data.key function, which we can't access data, so it would have to be oh, I guess, yeah, that's not possible, is it? You can't just do data.key function. Oh, unless, no, maybe I can, because I can do case to string. String? Can I do that? No. That's annoying. Is that because it's not in a class? I guess that's because it's not in a class, right? Can I do a new toString function? Like, does that help? If I do that, does that allow me to do data dot key function dot toString object? It does. That just works, I guess. Sure. And then I basically just want a setter for that as well. So by default, this will now just use display name function dot toString, and this will use display name function dot toString. Now, what I actually could do here, simplify this code and not have it be duplicated, would be to do cell factory dot call on null, and that will just go ahead and create one of these for me, which just makes that code a little bit simpler. Now let's do the new one. Okay, I was hoping it could figure it out. It can't figure it out. Let's do builder of T, and let's call this display name function, and hopefully now, yes, it can do that, which is great. This needs to be X. I don't know why that was not X. There's actually a couple of those. Any more whilst I'm here? Okay. I don't need to reference it anywhere else because it's only used as like the default display name function. Let's actually rename it as such. So that basically will mean that this is only the default display name function. So sets the default display name function for the combo box. And then say something like, this is only used if no cell factory or button cell is set. And then what I can do in here is I can do dot display default display name function, and I can do the only problem is that won't translate it. Well, I guess that's fine. It just means that I have to do that actually in here, right? So what I can say is I can say yeah, basically in here I can say translate, which I don't know where that's from. Is it data.translate? Yeah, data.translate. Then I can do I always forget what our friggin' localization class is called because it's not called correctly what it should be. L1A10, is that correct? No, LI? No. I1? No, no. I'm gonna have to have a look because I actually don't even know. Localization. No, it's not in there. I don't know why I'm looking in there. It's in here. L1A10. Okay, I thought I was correct. Okay, why is that not working? L18N. Huh? Okay, whatever. Dot localize. And then just do that. I genuinely don't know. Oh, because this is in core. This isn't in railroad, this is in core. So I have to use localization service locator dot get instance, and then I have to use dot get like that in order to be able to localize it. There we go. That should now work. So that should fix that one. But we'll quickly go ahead and test it just to make sure, of course. Okay, so let's do bits and bobs. Bits and sure, bits and bobs, whatever. Dev.30worthy. Next. Give it a second. 1.21. Next. Yarn. Yeah, there you go. So those are now translated correctly, which is what we wanted. Okay, so what was the next one? Licenses is really the next one. We can do this one later. And the reason we kind of have to do that one later is because that happens when we actually create the project. It should be pretty easy to fix, I'm hoping, but yeah, just not right now. So the next big one really is licenses. So the ordering here is just like all over the place. The only thing is I don't know how to order it. Like, I don't know what a good way to order it is. Should I just do A to Z? What do you guys think? How would you order the licenses? I feel like probably A to Z, right? I think that just makes the most sense. The only thing is, like, custom license should really be at the bottom. Well, the thing is, the problem with A to Z is that that means all rights reserved is going to be at the top. I kind of don't really want all rights reserved to be at the top, because obviously that's not an ideal license, right? Should I just put it in an order of, like... The thing is, I can't really have it in a custom order because these are defined by a registry. So plugins can define new licenses. Later on, I want it so that we have like some kind of like JSON registry or something, so you could just add a JSON file and it does that for it, rather than having to create a plugin that does it. But for now, that's, you know, that's a little bit off the tables for right this second. I think I'm just gonna do A to Z. Yeah. Let's just do A to Z. Because they're in a custom order for a few and the rest is added under it from A to Z. That could work, yeah. That could work. Like having like maybe the popular ones at the top. I mean, eventually, right? Like later on down the line, if Railroad is used by a lot of users, it could go in order of like most used to least used, right? I think that'd be perfectly reasonable to do something like that. But for right now, we need a more concrete one. So yeah, probably just a custom order. Maybe I could even define a way for, like, when plugins are registering a license, maybe I could have a way for it to just... But for plugins to say where their license should be. Like, so a plugin could say, I want my license to show after this one, or before this one, or at the beginning, or at the bottom, maybe. And that's kind of complicated though, so I'll probably leave that a little further down the line if I do something like that. Or default it to GPL because that's the best one. Yeah, it's currently defaulted to this one, so that is LGPL 3.0. But there is also GPL 3.0. Got MIT. I think MIT is one of the most popular, but that's like, it's quite an open license, MIT. can do a lot with MIT. It'd be nice if when you selected a license, it's shown you like, I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen, you can't see, but like it'll show you like down here in this section what the license actually is. That'd be a pretty good thing for it to do. But once again, like not that big of a deal right now. That's a later down the line thing. I'm just gonna do A to Z. I'm gonna do A to Z because otherwise it's really complicated. Later on down the line, we can come up with a better ordering system, but for now, A to Z is fine. Yeah, you can see the default value is just LGPL. If that doesn't exist, then it will just get the first one. But basically, all I need to do is the items should be where it's got available licenses. It sets them all. What is it doing? I feel like this is not necessary. So that sets the default value, but the default value is already set. Text field, custom text field. If custom field is not equal null, string custom license value is equal that. Custom field set custom license value. Oh, I see what this is for. Okay. So I think this is just so that it saves it. Like as when you go back and forwards, so that it will remember, basically. And if it's not been set, then it just does that default value check, which is fine, I guess. This is not necessary though, to be honest. I don't actually honestly know that these are necessary even. Like I don't think this is even actually going to work if I did that. Question. Very important question. If I set this to something else and then go forward and then back. Okay, it does save it. Is it this code that does that though? Or does that just happen by default? I think that just happens by default. I don't think I need to do this. I don't think I need to do any of this. Maybe this. But I don't think this will even work. So I don't need to do any of this. I don't need to do any of that. Boom, kaboom. Okay. And then all I can do is I can just stream.sorted, and I can sort by the license name. Can I just do that or no? No, I cannot. But that's fine. And for now, it can just do that. But well, there's no point actually, because we're gonna fix that in a second. So if we run it ahead, go ahead and run it now. We should see that they are in A to Z, which I think is just the simplest order to go with. So if we do bits and bobs, next, dev.30worthy, next. By the way, I know the Minecraft version takes a second to load. I think that's just because of the error that I'm getting. I think basically because it can't fetch this one, 1.21.11, which I don't know why it's trying to fetch. We're going to have to fix that at some point as well. But I think basically because it can't fetch that, it tries, like it waits longer to see if it exists, which I think is why it does that loading thing. It's not a huge issue, like it's only like a second. In theory it should cache it, but I don't think it is for some reason. I think once again because this one's failing, it's not caching it because it failed. I assume. I don't know for sure. It shouldn't fail later on down the line, of course. That's just a for now thing. Okay, what? How? How is that even possible? What? How are we still getting null objects? It's literally impossible. Unless... Doesn't make sense. Okay, we'll come back to it so that we can test. Okay, oh yeah, that's not going to work now because I have to select one. For that to have those, and those, and those, and that. Why has this not worked anymore? Obviously that's not working then, is it? Why isn't this working? What? It's not building it, is it? No. Because the reason I say that is because sometimes, or well, there was an issue previously where I would build the components, which I think is actually on this bracket. If I built them, it obviously doesn't work because that means this is just ran instantly. I don't know why this wouldn't work though. Well, it has worked, right? It's just that this hasn't worked. But how? How is that even possible? Because this is literally ran after this. I'm pretty sure. If I go... Oh, I can't because we're not in debug mode. Let's try debug mode. And actually, if we're trying debug mode, let's try and see if we can fix the... the thingy one, mapping channel. Not that one, this one. I genuinely don't know how that one's happening. So bits and bobs. I'm just going to do this on my other screen. No point showing you guys this. Dev.30 wordy. Okay, let's try 1.21. Next. Okay. If well, I mean, the thing is, there's no point breakpointing it because I can't step into it. Yeah, so that just gets the default value, and then yeah, see, it sets the items first. So I genuinely don't know how like it would fail to set the default value. Kind of weird. I guess because I just figured it out. It's because this calls set items, right? Okay. So what set items does is it... Wait. No, never mind. Never mind. I thought I had a big brain moment. I did not. I thought basically that this was using these items, but it's not. So that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I can do. No, alright. All supplied items. Supplied items is some self-observable list. What is supplied item then? It is a collection. Okay. That just sets the items, and then that sets all the items. I don't know. What has that done though? Like if I... Okay, yeah, see now it's freaking working. I hate shit like that. I hate shit that works sometimes and then just doesn't work other times, even though nothing's changed. But whatever. So available licenses is empty. What? This happens sometimes, and I genuinely have no idea how that's happening. Like, how, in goodness gracious, is the default value being called before on enter is being called? Like, what? Because as far as I'm concerned, the only way that's possible is if the default value is being set like here. Well, no, it can't be being set here. It's just weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Obviously doing something wrong. Like, I have to be doing something wrong. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Could it be... Could it be... No, because this one's using the builder. Is it maybe every other run? I don't think that makes any sense either, though. Like, why would that be the case? Okay, but look, it's running it twice. Okay, so if that's the case, then this should get set, right? Available licenses. Does it contain LGPL? Available licenses. Let's have a look. Yes, it does. So that should set it. Let's have a look. Okay, so default value. Wait, so this is running here. Wait. Wait. Where's the first one running? The first one's running up here, right? Yes, it runs here. Which is correct. Admittedly, I don't actually know why it's doing a platform run later. Because I'm pretty sure this is already in the JavaFX thread. So, I don't know why it's doing that. I don't think that's the issue, but I'm just saying I don't know why it's doing that. Can I not do... No, I can't. Okay. I mean, I'm going to simplify this a little bit, even though this is once again unrelated. I'm just going to do that. And do that. And it doesn't like that because... Why the fuck not, bro? Fine. Can I do no inspection unchecked? There we go. Let's just stop that from complaining. Interesting. If default value is not equal to null and form component or get items contains default value. Ah, well it doesn't. Because the items aren't being populated. I'm intrigued though, actually. Why is this being called? Let's do this again. Let's run the whole thing again. Let's come back to this step. And we're going to follow this, right? So we're going to follow... I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen again. Once again, you can't Okay, I need to stop doing that. We're going to follow this, right? So we're going to see where this brings us and then find where this is happening from, because something is obviously calling this earlier than on enter somehow. I don't know what, I don't know where, but it's happening. So we're going to try and figure it out. So 1.21 next. Okay. Oh, we've hit a breakpoint of this one. I think this one's fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. Once again, like even this one's running twice. So the issue is present there as well. Wait, it's null. Look. It's null. How? We just saw it. We just saw it. Wait, I need to go back on the stream. I need to go back on the stream. I want to see this. Maybe I wasn't watching properly. Okay. I'm watching. Oh, I can't see it because I had this covering the freaking frick. I was covering the threads and variables, so I couldn't see. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Every other run? No, because this happened last run. So that means it'd be every 2 runs. Which doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm going to keep stepping through. We'll come back to that one. It's probably caused by the exact same issue we're having with the license one. So if we can figure out this one, then that helps. Okay, so we've hit the license. So what we're going to do is we're going to step over. So available licenses is obviously empty. So it returns null. Now, where is this happening? Okay, that's what I expected. So it's happening in here, right? So default value is equal blah blah blah. Okay, so it returns that, and then this is happening in form component, which is fine. That's fine. The more important question is, why is the form component being created at this stage? So it's happening from combo box component. Oh no, this is just the super constructor, right? That we were just in. So this is happening, blah blah blah. So we step over again, and we should bring ourselves to wherever it's being called from. Okay, which is build, which is add component. What? What? Add component. Add component. That's being called here. Okay, we can keep stepping over, I think. Because we can figure out where this is being called from, like, properly. Right. That's fine. So, can I find out where this builder lambda is being called from? From builder.build. This is happening in the onboarding form step. Okay. Okay. Resolved form is equal builder.build. wherever, fine. And then it creates the section, fine. Okay. Does auto validation, fine. So that comes back to step at current step is equal step at. See, I thought the UI was being created here, but it's not, because step at is creating the UI. So if we continue, we go show step. Wait. We can find where show step's being called. Show step. So that's probably happening from the next button. So let's go handle next. So it calls show step. Perform step transition. Okay, but wait, where is on enter being called? On enter. Oh, in here. Yeah, because the point was that, yeah, the point that I originally did this for is that it runs on enter, then it creates the UI. But it's not doing that, basically. Because basically what it's saying is step at looks up the onboarding set step, which is creating the UI, right? So if we look in here, basically the constructor, no, or is this onboarding form step? Onboarding step. Wait, so that's creating the step. Oh, I see, because creating the step is these. So it runs these. And this in here uses the builder, ends the sections, then we've got on enter, then it calls build. And building it is what's creating all of these. So, now that we know what's happening, how in the flying fuck do we fix that? Oh no. AI? Maybe? I want to try and kind of have at least one idea before I try and just tell Codex to do it for me. I want to try and have an idea of how to do it. My initial thoughts was maybe there is a way in which inside the build method itself, we go ahead and call the onEnter function. Basically what that would do is that means if you've got a step at, right? It means it would call the onEnter, that I mean, that would cause it to call it twice, though. That's the only problem. Okay, the alternative, the other option, is we have some way in the step class itself, right? So in, say, for example, onboarding step, right? So in here, we have some kind of method that creates the UI. So for example, we have the section, right? Which is the basically the UI. I instead make this a like supplier. I don't know why I did it like that, but I make it like a supplier of an onboarding section, which means that it doesn't have to be created inside build. Because if we look at the implementation right here, and we go, you can see what it does is it sets the section, right? So this section is equal section. The section is created from the builder, right? So if I find this in here, section, it creates the section, right? So if I, instead of doing that, set it to be a supplier of an onboarding section, that means it can do it later. The only problem with that, and it is a very big problem, is that means it would recreate the section every single time we access it, unless we did some kind of manual caching inside the section, which we could. I mean, it wouldn't be a massive deal. Like, it'd be pretty easy to do. I think that's the only option, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's the only way. Like, change signature, update. And then that basically updates this, so that returns section. Now, no. Wait. I'm trying to think. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, we kind of do want to do this, but not like that. We still want this method to return the section, right? What we want is that this will basically call, so this here will be a supplier of section, and then there will also be a private onboarding section, cached section, sure, we'll call it that, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then inside of here, basically saying if the cache section isn't present, then we create the section, else we just return the cached section. And so what that means is that in here, I can do a supplier of onboarding section. And in here, section, this entire section thing, section is equal this dot section. Oh, bugger. Oh, friggin' bollocks. Oh. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Because what I have to do is I have to make this a supplier of section there. Right? And then this has to become a supplier of section. And then this, like where I have this whole thing here, so this will be a supplier of section is equal this dot section. If section is equal null, then it creates the form, right? And so what I can do is I can take all of this and say section is equal to a supplier of this and return new form onboarding section. Like that. Which basically means that if the section isn't set, so if it's not a form, for example, or if it is a form, then it will just be the section, right? But otherwise, it will go ahead and create the section. Now, I think this is probably a good idea, which will be something like get or default section, right? And then basically inside of here, that means I spelled default wrong. It's the U. That will do that for us, all inside of this method. Yes. And then even this, I mean, we can defer this now. So this will now be down here. Now, the only problem is auto validation. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Because yeah, this might be a little bit of a problem. Because auto validation needs to run after it's created, and right now it's running before because it's in a supplier, right? But once again, I think there's a solution here. It's kind of jank, but it's basically saying, like, put this into a supplier, right? So do this. So it will then call that, or yeah, it'll have to make it a variable. So supplier. It'll have to do supplier.get. Okay, let's rename this to section supplier, and then this can just be section, and then it can be like that. Then we do this, then we return section. Only problem is managed valid, which kind of isn't gonna work. But I can have an atomic reference of a Boolean property, which is equal to a new atomic reference. And then I thought IntelliJ had a thing for that. And it doesn't. But I can then just do .set like that. .set. Okay, and the only problem is valid going to have the exact same problem? Maybe. But basically I can do .get like that. And I can do .get there. I mean, valid property. Let me just check that, like, valid isn't used. No, I think that's fine. Yeah. So basically it's a supplier wrapped in a supplier, possibly wrapped in a supplier. But it means that it won't be created until it needs to be created. So what that should mean is the section won't be created until right here, right when we call section, because section will then go ahead and cache it and then return it. And then on subsequent runs, it will just return it because it's already cached. I think we may have just done that without AI. If I'm being smart, I could also be being dumb, of course. And that might fix a lot of my problems, actually. It might mean that we can shorten this code down a lot. Let's give it a run. Let's find out. That's the best way to know, is just to try it. So stay hydrated, guys. Very important. Okay, let's give it a run. So let's put in a project name. So bits and bobs. Next. Oh. Okay, that's not good. Okay, I actually know why that's happening, though. I actually do. And it's basically because of what we did to try and circumvent that issue we just had. And what we did to circumvent that, if we have a look at Maven coordinates, is we did this whole shenanigans, like all of this. I don't think it needs any of that. Yeah, it doesn't need that. This is fine because that will just mean it sets the project name. And then the only thing we need to do here is say, how do we do that actually? Project name is not equal to null, so context dot get name not equal to nulls, then we get the project name. If it's null or blank, artifact ID dot get, then it sets the artifact ID. Right. And then basically we want this isn't necessary. What am I trying to do? Version. What was I doing with the group ID? Oh, I just wanted it to... But this should work, right? But it's not. Wait, let me go back. Is this saving? Okay, that's saving. Why is that not working? On enter, it gets the project name. The project name is not null. It's not, so we know it's not. Then we convert it, and then we set the artifact ID. This should just get the artifact ID. We don't need this binds text field too. We don't need this. We just need this, basically. And likewise, we don't need this. Those are not necessary. Do we even need this? Group ID.get. Text is equal group ID.get. No, we don't even need... Well, we will, but we don't right now. What's good, bro? You doing good? I am sure. The pain and suffering of this is already arriving, but I think we're making progress. I think we just have to remove the stuff we did to circumvent the issue, and then I think it will work. In theory. That's purely a theory. But, do bits and bobs. Next, hopefully. Why not? I'm a little bit confused, guys. Why is that not doing anything? Let's run it in debug mode. I'm a little bit confused because this doesn't create the section, right? No, so it's not as if the section is being created early or something like that. I'm pretty sure the only time section is called, yeah, it is right there. It's not called anywhere else. Okay, let's try bits and bobs. And then let's press next. Okay, that should be in there. Is that in there? No. Interesting. What? Concept changes, configure navigation. Exceptionally. But it... How? How is that not in there? Is it an issue with this one? No. Okay, that's a little bit weird, isn't it? So what that means to me is... Yeah, so basically what's happening is the listener that listens... Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, where's the code that sets that data? Let's try and find that. That would be a good thing to try and find. If we can find that, then we can probably figure out the issue. Because we'll probably find that that's just not being called, would be my guess. I don't honestly remember where that is. I've changed this code so many times that I don't remember where things were. Is it configure navigation? No. Oh. Is it on step changed? It might be on step change. Step.id. I think it's on step changed. If we go into the override, if step is equal null, don't care about that. Title label, don't care. No, never mind, it's not. I thought it was. Where does it do that then? It's the one that has the form. Where's the form? It has to be cleanup, actually, doesn't it? Right? Because cleanup should do current step on exit. And on exit should we go on exit.accept, and I think this has a default value. If we look in, Builder. No. Somewhere. Where does it do it? Where does it do it? Is it add component? Does it do it in here? Data mapping. It's gonna be in there somewhere. When is this used? Save data to context. This is what I was looking for. Where is this called? In here. This got on exit. Oh. Oh. I see. It is what I thought. Okay. So this is setting on exit. But the problem is that it's setting on exit for the builder. Right? Because we're still in the builder. So it's actually, how do we even fix that? That's really hard to fix. The only how the fuck do we fix that? I mean, actually, that doesn't have to go there, does it? Right? That can just go here. Because this doesn't rely on any of, like, the transformers or... Wait, does it? It relies on data mappings. Which... will be empty. Wait. Wait, does it? 1 second. Find usages, data mappings. That's here. Oh, that only happens here. Which is fine, because that will happen after the UI has been built. So actually that's fine. The only issue then could be in here, and only if any fields are set, which they're not. So that should be fine. That should fix all of our problems. Now, did we do anything to try and fix that or no? No. So I think everything should be fixed. I believe. Fingers crossed, chat. Fingers crossed. If you don't have your fingers crossed, then I'm gonna murder you in your sleep. In Minecraft, of course. You better be crossing them, or I'll be very angry. Okay. Bits and bobs. Next. Fuck. Who wasn't crossing their fingers? Who was it? Whoever wasn't crossing it, it's all your fault. It is all your fault. I have no idea why this is happening now then. I actually don't. Let's try again. And I guess see if it's in the context this time. It has to be, right? Wait, no, it can't be. I guess it can't be. Because if it was, then it would work, I think. Bits and bobs. Next. So we can see the context. We look in data is empty. Fuck, man. How? How is it empty? Wait. Let's go. Let me have a look again. Maybe I missed something. I need to have a look in. Not that. Not that. This. This is what I was thinking of. It happens here. Save data to context. But it doesn't do anything. Like, this isn't... I don't think there's anything wrong with this. The data mapping is... Oh, it's because if it's not empty. Well, that's silly, isn't it? Because of course it's going to be empty. God. Who am I? I'm an idiot. Of course it's going to be empty because we haven't populated them yet. And it doesn't matter if it's not empty anyways. It's just running an extra lambda. Like, sure, I guess it's a little bit of a performance waste, but it doesn't really matter. It's more performance waste trying to figure out if we have friggin' data to transfer or not, right? So it's fine. Okay. Let's close everything because this is gonna work, chat. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. Admittedly, I said this last time, but it's gonna work. Okay. Have some trust. Bits and bobs. Let's go. Okay, let's see if everything else works. Have we fixed all of the other issues? I'm gonna say no, unfortunately. I'm gonna say no. But we can try. Like, for example, this. Okay, we don't care about that right now. We'll have a look at that in a second. And that actually did work, which is fine. So that's being saved. That's being saved. That's all saved. Fuck. Fuck you. Bitch. Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Fuck. I'm so confused. Why did it do that? Dev.30 quality. Back. Next. Why? Why is it doing that? Like, nothing is setting the group ID. Ever. It's not being set to anything. The group ID isn't set here. That's only the artifact ID. The group ID has never changed. Unless... No, it's not, is it? The only thing I can think is... That doesn't make any sense. You know what the weirdest part about this is? Right? If we go like this. Right. Yarn, whatever. Whatever. Wait, actually I might be wrong. But let me try this. Next. Okay, whatever. We'll come back to that and see if that works in a second. Which it doesn't, by the way. So you see that saved. Why does that save and the other one doesn't? Right? Why does that save and the other one doesn't? That doesn't make any sense. Let me have a look at mod ID. Mod ID, which is in Minecraft something. No, it's mod details. Here you go. Mod details. Yeah, see, this just does that automatically, which is what it did. Yeah, no, I mean, it does it manually, not automatically. But why? Like, why do I need to? I don't need to. It should just do it. It should happen in here, right? Like, you know what I can do? I can go back, and I can go back all the way to here. Wait, no. Wait, maybe? I'm gonna put a breakpoint in there. So, data key, mapping, blah, blah, blah. The mapping shouldn't do anything, I don't think. So that's the component. It extracts the value, transformed, blah, blah, blah. Puts it in the context. Okay, let's look at the context. And let's have a look at the group ID. Okay. Okay. So, component. Okay, group ID is still there. Okay, so group ID should still be there. It is. So why is the group ID now gone? Wait, where do I set the default value? Because this works, but it nowhere is it actually setting the default value, right? X property recompute.run. What does that do? What does that do? Attach node listener. Attached to node validation listener recompute.run. What is recompute? Add update listener recompute. Valid property.set tracked components.stream.all match not equal to error. Okay. I think that's fine. I don't think that's the issue. Admittedly, it's a bit weird, but I don't think that's the issue. I'd like a way to set a default value. What's the best way to do that? So we have on enter, on exit, and on dispose. Now, I actually don't think it's going to be. I guess it could be on enter. It could be on enter. Yeah, it could be on enter. So what we could do is pretty similar to what we have on exit, right? So we have a consumer of onboarding context existing on enter, right? And then what we do is we can say, hello, Sin Quick Clips, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so what we can do in on enter, when we enter it, we can basically go through all of the tracked data. So basically same as save data to context, but the opposite, right? So load data from context. So load data from context, right? So then we'll go down, we'll find our save data from context. Okay, and we create a private void load data from context, and maybe Copilot can get it right. It might not. Object transformed. Okay, let's just fix the errors so we can see what it's doing. So what is it doing? I don't know. Let's figure it out from scratch. So what we're doing, we're grabbing all the data component, or all the data mappings, and then we're getting the component for that key. And then what we're doing is we're saying the value, which basically gets the value from the context using the key. And then if value is not null, we set the value. But to set the value, we need to get the transformer or something. There's some kind of transformer. Mapping.transformer .apply value. But that just does context.put. I need a way to then set the value, because this doesn't actually apply it, right? I don't think. Maybe it does. Mapping.transformer. Find usages. Transformer. Transformer is what? Spec.transformer. Which is what? Component spec passes in a transformer, which is just function.identity. Okay, so I basically need a reverse transformer, right? Yeah, I need some kind of reverse transformer, which is, it sounds a little bit silly, but basically what there would be is a function of object, and this is basically reverse transformer. Okay, and this will take in the reverse transformer. And then basically this reverse transformer would be like that. And then what I need to do is pass that into all of these. So I'm going to copy, paste, and reverse transformer. Here we'll do function.identity. Here we have the transformer. Here we have function.identity again. We have the transformer again. Like that. Identity. I don't know why this isn't using a builder for all of these component things. Well, I guess it kind of is, but I'm just simplifying it by having a bunch of constructors like this. That's fine, I guess. So that uses all the transformers. So then we need to go back to where that was used, which I think that was also in here, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Load data from context. Here we go. So then I can do objects transformed is equal mapping dot reverse transformer, which I need to get from mapping, which is a data mapping. So I need the function reverse transformer, which shouldn't have that though. Okay, and then I need to find where this is called again, which is here. That just needs to take in a function of object, object, reverse transformer, and that just takes in the reverse transformer. And then what we need to do is we need to find this, and we need a way to apply it. Now, I think we can just do component dot set value or something. Set to transformed. Yeah. The only problem is that takes in a capture, which isn't gonna work. Oh, no, that's wrong. That sets the component property. I can do get component. Does this have a set method? Set ID, set manage, set value, maybe? Set value transformed. Okay, that's gonna have to be, the get component is T, which is a node. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do like has set value, which is kind of silly interface name, but that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna have to come in here, I'm gonna create a new class, it'll be an interface. We has set value. I mean, it can be generic, I guess, right? It can be like that. And then it'll be set value T, and then basically that means it can do that. And then is there a way to, oh, I can't do that, I guess. That's true. Okay, it will just have to be object. Which is fine, I guess. Yeah, it'll do. And then that just means I need to go through all of the components and just implement that method somehow. So yeah, not in there, it's in these ones. Now, yeah, because basically this then needs to implement has set value. Wait, no, because that's in there. So does it need to be in here? No. Oh, this is kind of complicated then. Okay, maybe I can make this work. So I need to implement this method. Do we just have, like, we don't have a component though. Do we even have like a component property, or I guess we can get the child, right? We must have it somewhere actually. Primary component, add labeled hbot. We need a way to get the component. So I need like a public key get components. Aha, that's what I was looking for. Maybe not call it get component though. We'll call it basically what the parent is called, which is get primary component. Oh, it's already defined. Is it? Or is that lying to me? Oh no, it is. It is. It is. I didn't see that somehow. Don't know how I didn't. Get primary component. Got set selected. Boolean value. I think that's fine. Oh, this needs to be implements as set value. So then I just need to yoink that. And I need to put it in all of these. Which actually isn't too bad. So set value. E value. Yeah, that's fine. Suppress warnings. Unchecked. I actually can't do that, but I can do that. I can just do get primary components as well. That has put that in a platform.run later. That is admittedly probably better to do that, so I will also do that. Boom. Okay, next. Just the warning here. Might be null. Okay, I think that's fine. Oh, no, I guess that's not fine because a map can't have null. I mean, it's an issue, but it's like not really an issue because it, you know, it's fine. I don't mind that. I can just do, nope, never mind. I can't because it's not on my clipboard anymore. Implement methods, set value. If it's instance of a string, well, no, we can just do platform dot run later, and we can do, we don't need to do this. We can just do objects dot toString. Value. What the fuck? Don't do that. Oh, no, we do need to do that. Okay. You had me lost for a second, but get primary component dot set text. No? Oh, right. I need to get the text field, and then I need to set text like that. I will just say null like that. I think that's fine. Text area. Implement has set value. Implement boom boom. Platform dot run later. Set text objects dot yeah. I'm just going to copy that actually because it's going to be the same for this one. Implement has set value. And that'll do, whatever. Okay, and that's, I think, all of them. So I think we can now build. Just check. See if it compiles. We cannot because, yeah, this one has a special transformer. So what I will have to do is I will have to say like that. That just does path.toString, in which case we can actually just use technically function.identity. Well, okay, no, because I want to probably make it absolute. See, the only problem with this is that we don't actually know what the type of the value is, which is not great. But I guess I can do return path. It's instance of path. Let's do value path then path dot to absolute path dot toString. Else we just do value dot toString, which will be fine because this is we know it's not null. So that's fine. Let's try run it. Let's see. We might have fixed it. No, maybe. Bits and bobs. Next. Okay, let's go dev.dirtyworthy. And hopefully, if I press back and then go forward. Fuck you. Oh my god, bro. Why? Why are you like this? Okay, we should be able to debug it though. Right? Admittedly, pain in the ass to do, but we should be able to debug it. So let's go into, was it here, I think? And we should go into here. And it should be called. Let's have a look. Oh, let's actually check where it's used, because maybe I'm not using it properly. No, I am. Unless this dot on enter isn't used, but I think it is. I find usages. Yes, it is used, so that's not the issue. Okay. I'm going to put in the project name, bits and bobs. Next. It's not called. It's actually just not called. Oh, of course it's not called. Because the data mappings don't exist. Wait, no, they do. They do. If I do dev.dirtyworthy. Okay, and then go back. The data mappings do exist, right? If I look in the context, it does have the maven.group ID, right? So obviously that's not going to do anything. That's fine. But if I now do it again, right? And if I do next, why is that one not running then? Interesting. Very, very interesting. On enter. So it should just call that though. I'm a little confused why it's not calling that. Right? Like if I go, okay, you know, let's remove that for a second. Let's do dev.dirtyworthy. Okay, then let's go back. Okay, don't care about that. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to set that breakpoint. So if we go back to here, set that breakpoint. Okay, then go next. So context should have maven.group ID. Correct. Inside this, we should also have the data mapping. There are no data mappings. Oh, because it's in the builder. Oh, fuck. It's in the builder. Huh. And of course the builder doesn't have data mappings because the data mappings are set in attach node listener. Attach to node. No, not there, are they? Where are the data mappings added? They're added in add component, which is called in pen section. Yeah. And that adds it to the builder, because the builder was meant to add them first, and then they would be added later when the... Shit, that kind of really complicates things. Wait, but it should still add them to the builder, right? Because if we look at... If we're saying append section is calling it... No, we're saying add component is calling it, right? Add component still runs in the builder. Like, it just does, objectively. So, data mappings.put should still be running, regardless. So, how can that be empty? The only answer I can see is that it can't. I'm a little confused how it could be. Let's have a look. Let's see if this method is ever called. It should be called when the UI is created, right? So like that should run. And then it should put in... Oh wait, but on enter runs before the UI is created. So there's no data mappings. I didn't think about that. Okay. There's another solution. It's once again not great. And that's to have like an on-enter function that runs after the UI is created. Right, so instead of having this one, I also have an on-enter after UI. Right, so I have something like existing on-enter after UI. And then like this dot on-enter after UI, this dot on-enter after UI, do that. And basically this will then run only after the UI, right? It's... I'm 50-50 about it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So yeah, it's basically the exact same as all the rest. It's just... I mean, in a way it's a good thing, because it allows for more customizability. But on the other hand, it's meh. But I mean, like that will work. The only thing is that it's obviously not in here, so I have to have it in here as well. Private final on enter after UI. And then I just set that in here. And then I have to basically call that at some point. So, like, when is on enter called from in here? Oh, I see, it's overridden. So I will have to have in onboarding step a... Okay, this is the part that I don't like, but I would have to have a default void on enter after UI onboarding context, and then I have to have on enter after UI on enter after UI.accept context, which is not great, but it'll do. I think it's probably fine. That all now works. I just have to now go into the onboarding process, and after the UI is created, which we need to find real quick. So here is where the UI is created. Probably here. Then I need to run current step dot on enter after UI. Let me look at configure navigation real quick. Okay, we probably want it to run after that in reality. So like that. That should fix it. Because that should mean basically after the UI is created, the data mappings have been set, and so it can use the data mappings to set the values in the UI. In theory. It's all hypothetical, of course. But we can have a look. I did say I wasn't sure we would get all this done today, and I was correct. We're not going to get it all done today. But we have got a lot done today. We've written some pretty important foundational infrastructure, so I still consider that pretty good in terms of what we got done. Got a couple more minutes anyways, so bits and bobs. Hopefully we can just get this working at least. Dev.30wordy, so then we go back and then we go forward. Fuck you. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose it. Is this not running? Okay, fine. Let's breakpoint it. Figure out what the fuck is happening. But the problem with that... There's a really big problem with running it there. And that's the issue of running it there is it's going to overwrite anything that happens inside on enter. Which, I mean, isn't that fine? I guess that's fine. Right? Well, no. Because if it takes what was there previously, but on enter changed what the possible previous values were, meaning that it's no longer a possible value, then you have an impossible value. Right? Say, for example, you selected Minecraft 1.21.1, right? And then you went to the next stage, and in the Fabric API, you set it to be, you know, 1.21.1 dash whatever, or you know, whatever the Fabric API version is for that Minecraft version. And then if you went back, changed the Minecraft version to say 1.21.4, right? And then went back to the Fabric API, the Fabric API would still be 1.21.1 because it's just using the previous value. So there has to be a way to tell... Maybe what I can do... Okay, there's a solution. There is a solution, actually. If I store in the context whether or not on enter has changed the value. So basically whether it should reuse the the context values or not, right? And I can basically tell it on enter to not do that. I think that would work. I'm actually pretty confident that will work. So basically what I'm thinking is I have like a private final map of string to a boolean, which will be data or keys changed in on enter, or needs or what do I want to call this? Key refresh map is equal to a new hash map. And then I can say like public void mark for refresh. And then I can also have a needs refresh. And then I can also have a public void clear refresh. I also want a clear all refresh as well. And then what that means is that in yeah, so in here I can do context.clear all, right? And then inside here I can say if, okay, so let me get the string context key, right? And then I can say if context, so ctx dot needs refresh context key, and I'm basically just gonna invert that. So if it doesn't need a refresh, let me just return. I think. I think that's the best way to do it. Now, if I could have that happen automatically, that would be great. But I don't think that's really possible, unfortunately. I'm going to have to manually tell it to do that, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. It just means that, like, if we go in... so here, for example, what we would do... Okay, like this, for example, doesn't need to exist anymore, right? Because these are now set in there. And instead, what I need to do is I need to say, like, context dot mark for refresh. And that will just mark the Minecraft version. Basically saying that that needs to be changed. Yeah. That should work. Unfortunately, though, I am going to have to end the stream here. So, we're not going to have time to test it. But obviously, I am going to be streaming again tomorrow, same time as today. And possibly some streams throughout next week as well, just to try and get all of this finished. And hopefully I can get the video out soon. I want to say next week, but I don't know. there'll be a stream the day that comes out as well anyways, and that won't be on a Saturday or Sunday, so hopefully that will be, I don't know, we'll see. If that happens, that will be on a Friday, I think. So there could be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday stream. We'll see. That would be my ideal thing, because then I can boost the streams a little bit after the video comes out. But we will see. So I am going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you all enjoyed. I think we actually got a lot done today. It doesn't look like a lot, but we did get a lot done. We got the progress done. We fixed the a bunch of crashes in the Minecraft version stuff. We did a bunch of things, actually. If I go on to get our desktop, I mean, look at all this. Basically, all of this is what we've done today. We built a lot of like backing infrastructure, which hopefully can all be used tomorrow. I might actually get some of it done before the stream tomorrow, so we'll see. And the benefit, we didn't use any AI today. Or, well, we used Copilot, of course, because Copilot's great. I love Copilot, but yeah, we didn't use any ChatGPT at all, which is great. That's always a win. So yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Good. Bye.